Grief is the result of a loss that holds substantial meaning. Any number of loss situations can cause a grief experience, which may be short-lived or last an undetermined amount of time. Unacknowledged grief from an experience of loss can be debilitating and cause ripple effects long into the future. Potent emotional turmoil due to grief can lead to many issues, such as illness due to a compromised immune system, emotional problems such as depression or withdrawal from other people, and further losses such as relationships and opportunities. When helping a child through an experience of loss, the first task is to assist with acceptance of the reality of the loss. To a child, removal from their family or a severed relationship for a long period of time can be too much to understand. It will take time to go through the process of accepting the new environment they find themselves in. Before this acceptance settles in, typically a child will exhibit searching behavior. They may watch the street for a parent's car, wait for a phone call, or convince themselves that a parent will pick them up from school. They may expect to be returning to mom or dad at any moment and not understand the reasons why they can't go home. They may think that if they act out, they will be sent home. Children and adults alike will often engage in denial of the facts of a loss. Denial represents the first stage of the natural grieving process. There are 5 commonly acknowledged stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. Someone who is grieving tends to cycle through these stages many times until the process is complete. Part of accepting the reality of a loss is to realize that returning to the previous state before the loss took place is impossible. Grief manifests emotionally, behaviorally, and physically. It is necessary to acknowledge and work through the feelings of grief. Not to do so may result in increased behavioral or emotional challenges. Grieving may look like anger, sadness, irritability, withdrawal from relationships, confusion, distractibility, despondency, self-harming behaviors, or even excitability, among many other things. The journey through the grieving process is assisted through ongoing conversations and openly expressing feelings. Open, honest acknowledgement of the mourner's feelings and reassurance that this is a normal process is very comforting. As a caregiver, engaging in open conversation about the grief process facilitates ongoing monitoring of a child's progress and allows you to alert the child's worker about any concerning behaviors. Other means of assisting through the grieving process includes creating activities to express the feelings we can't find words for, vigorous and leisurely physical activity, a healthy diet, and of course plenty of rest. Giving way to grief is often stigmatized as unhealthy, demoralizing, depressing, and self-indulgent. Those individuals who are constantly distracted from their feelings or who avoid their experience of grief may show signs of ongoing behavioral or emotional problems. Whatever the circumstances of any major loss, feelings of yearning are likely to recur throughout life during important occasions or when there are significant reminders of a loss. Although sometimes alarming and frustrating, these times of recycling grief emotions can be ideal for assisting children and adults who have not fully processed their grief to revisit the fullness of the loss and better understand what has happened to them. For those who have experienced a profound loss in their lives, the process of grieving assists them in identifying a way to reflect on their loss appropriately in order to go on living effectively in the world. Grieving ends when the mourner no longer has the need to replay the memory of the instance of loss. When the intense need to keep company with the hurtful event is stopped, then healing is underway. With your support, those who grieve know they have a safe place to express their pain. You don't have to do anything really. Just listen, ask some questions to show your interest, offer comfort, and be someone they can trust to safely witness their pain and sadness.